out on a limb protecting me. What happens if you get expelled? It's about fighting the system.
This is your future. It's up to us to go out and carve our own paths.
You may think protecting your teammates is noble, but you're going down for this.
Yeah, what's going on, fam? It's your man, VACAY-J, and yes, I'm back with another video. Finally, episode 8 for All-American is here. The season 4 return is here. Listen, if you're loving All-American, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Absolutely like and comment below as I'm about to break down episode 8, the season 4 return. It was a little break. Took some time, but finally back, and we're going to break this thing down. We're going to find out what happens to Spencer. We're going to find out what happens to Jabari. And yeah, let's just break this thing down. So we see Jordan, and he's talking to Grandpa. Yes, we didn't know what happened to Grandpa, but yes, GW is okay. Come to find out, he had a heart attack, and now, you know, they have the nurse's aide and everything, but he's not getting along with the nurse's aide. And Jordan's like, man, what's going to happen? What's going on? So Jabari goes to Spencer's house, and of course, Jabari's feeling bad that Spencer's taking a rap with everything that he did. It was his prank. And he's like, yeah, man, nah, I mean, I don't want you to be expelled. I heard that you could be expelled and everything. You may not graduate. And he's like, I don't want you to go down for this. You know, it was my prank. And, you know, he's really trying to say that he wants to hand himself in. But Spencer's not having it. He's like, listen, man, like you already been, you know, locked up or whatever, but I'm not having it. I'm not letting them take you down. So now we see Preach, and he is picking up Amina, and we see that she got an eye jammy, like somebody punched in the eye. She may have had a fight or something like that. And she's been getting into a lot of trouble talking back to the teacher, and he wants to know what's going on. She's still asking the question about who killed her mother, who killed Mo. And of course, Priest doesn't want to tell her. He's like, yeah, well, the word on the street is that Coop did it, but you're not trying to tell me, so I'm not trying to tell you what's going on with me. Wow. So now we see the girls. We see Layla. We see Liv and Simone, and they are trying on their graduation outfits. Layla's a little upset because her father is like, yeah, before you graduate and keep moving on. He wants her to see, you know, a music specialist or whatever. So Simone is like, hey, it's all good. You know, you're going to be fine. At the same time, we find out that Liv is deciding to go to the same college as Spencer. And Simone is like, oh, that's a surprise. And Liv doesn't want it to seem like she's just like being thirsty after her boyfriend, but you know, saying that, yeah, Spencer may not graduate because he may get expelled. Who knows? And then she's having a problem as far as, you know, what she's going to do as far as journalism. So Simone's like, yeah, my aunt is coming to town. She could talk with you about that because she's a journalist. And you're going to be fine. You're going to be okay. Right? So Liv is excited about that. She wants to meet her aunt and talk about what she wants to do as far as, you know, pursuing journalism. Meanwhile, we see the two principals from Crenshaw and Beverly, and they're discussing Spencer, and they're like, yeah, listen, if Spencer doesn't give up a name, then Spencer's going to go down for this. Like, he's going to get expelled and everything else like that, and we don't want Spencer to do that, but he has to give up a name. And Spencer's in the gym getting it in, but he overhears them talking. He comes out, he says, oh, so if I don't give up a name, then basically I'm going to get expelled, huh? And you know, the principal from Beverly's like, listen, we don't want this to happen, but all you have to do is just do this. We understand you're being noble about this, but you have to give up a name. And Spencer's like, nah, I'm not giving up a name because this person really can get in big trouble. And it's a big deal because it's $500,000 in damages. So yes, the principal from Beverly's like, listen, it got serious. If you don't tell us who did it, we know you didn't do it. If you don't tell us, then guess what? Yeah, you may get expelled, and there may be some other repercussions as well. So now we see Spencer's mom, Grace. She's probably talking to Clark, you know, Principal Clark. And Spencer comes in after, you know, talking with the principals. And he's talking to mom, and she's like, what is going on? Like, you know what you have to do. Like, why are you doing this? And Spencer's just like, yo, I'm trying to prove a point at the same time, stand up, you know, for my boy. Like, they feel like he's a bad guy and I'm the good guy, so his life is expendable. She's like, well, what are you teaching your younger brother? And the younger brother's just like, yo, he's teaching me how to stand up for myself. So she breaks out, you know, a box and with his father's graduation outfit. And they talked about, you know, how one day Spencer would be walking and graduating in that same outfit. So Spencer has a lot to think about, and he's really under a lot of pressure, but he's trying to save his friend. At the same time, be noble, but he's willing to risk graduating and everything to make sure his friend stays out of jail. So now Preach is talking to Coop, right, and Patience, and he's like, yo, I'm scared because, you know, she's getting in trouble in school and she's not trying to tell me what's going on. She keeps pressing me to find out who shot or who killed her mother. And Cooper's just like, man, you know what? Don't worry about it. You know, like curiosity is just like fireworks. Eventually, you know, you hear the fireworks and you're just waiting for the fireworks to end. Like she's going to go to sleep and wake up and it's just going to be silent again. She's going to forget about it. Just give her some time to really get over it, right? But Preach is just like, I don't think that's going to happen. You know, I really don't think that's going to happen. She's going to keep asking questions, getting into trouble and everything else like that until she finds out the truth. And I want to tell her the truth. But Preach is just like, nah, don't do it. Don't do it. So now we see Liv. Liv is talking to Simone's aunt who came to town for the graduation. So she's talking to the aunt, and the aunt is just like, you know, okay, so you want to pursue being a journalist and everything? Are you sure you want to do that? Because these days, it's not about the truth. It's not about putting out the truth. It's about being first. So while you're working on the truth, you know, basically some new kid on the block is going to put something out really quick on the internet, and basically you're going to get backlash for telling the truth. So she's really trying to discourage her from being a journalist because it's a crazy world. It's not the way that it used to be. And of course, Liv is just like, whoa, it's crazy, right? So now we see Layla. She's in the studio and she's talking to Clay. And she's like, Clay, do you know this musician? Do you know this composer? And he's like, nah, I don't know that person. I don't know that person. Why are you asking me about these people? Right? And she's like, well, what about this person? And she's just like, I don't know who these people are. And she says she saw the music person, and the music person said, yeah, that she doesn't have like a full knowledge and scope of music. And she got really discouraged about that. And that's why she's asking Clay about these guys. And he's like, yo, it doesn't make you a better or worse producer if you don't know these guys. Like, you're a great producer. And he's just telling her how great she is and that it doesn't matter that she knows these people or learn this. And she's really unsure about it because her confidence really got rocked by these people. So he's like, hey, listen, you know what? I got a great idea. Meet me at the spot. You know, just meet me there. Just meet me there. And she's like, well, I got to do this. I got to do that. He's like, nah, just meet me there. Don't worry about it. Like, it's going to be a surprise. It's going to be a good surprise. Just meet me there. So she's like, okay. Okay, Clay. You know, she really likes Clay and all of that. So she's going to do it, right? So now we got the guys from Beverly and Crenshaw trying to figure out how they're going to help Spencer, right? Because they don't want Spencer to go down for a stupid prank. So they're trying to figure it out. And JJ's just like, how about we go visit, you know, the principal or whatever of Beverly and just go talk to him. And it's like, we're not beating up the principal, man. And he's like, why not, right? So Jordan's like, you know what? Maybe that's a good idea. And JJ's like, yeah. He's like, no, that's one good idea. You have one good idea, but it's not that. And, you know, Jabari's there as well. And then Chris is like, how about we all just not go to graduation? How about we do that? You know, how about we walk out, right? So Spencer comes with Liv, and he's like, yo, what's going on? And she's like, yeah, they're trying to figure out how to save you. So they come up with that idea for none of them to walk. They don't want to, they just won't walk in graduation. And Spencer's just like, nah, I don't want y'all to do that. No. It's all about celebration. You guys deserve it. You earned it. You know, don't even worry about it. You guys just go do your graduation. I'm just going to handle this. And you know Spencer, man, he's always being a hero. He doesn't want them to go through all of that because, you know, of course, every kid dreams of their graduation because they worked hard for it. Meanwhile, Jabari's looking on, and Jabari's feeling bad about everything. So he talks to Spence and say, hey, listen, I want to talk to you, Spence. It's like, listen, man, I'm going to hand myself in, because you shouldn't go down for this. And Spencer's just like, no, don't do it. You're not going to do it. You know, you're not a bad guy and your life is worth it, just like mine, you know. And he's telling Jabari that, you know, basically, listen, if you go down for all of this, man, you're going to jail. I'm not having it. I'm not going to do it. And we all got work to do. So, you know, the guys are just sitting there like, you know what, we're going to do something about it. We're not just going to allow Spencer to do it. So now we have Coop and Spencer. And again, they're on the swings that they, you know, are usually on when they're kids and they have their serious talk. So Coop goes deep and she's talking about, you know, remember that picture of the footsteps in the sand and how, you know, really it was God carrying us. It's like, well, you know, when you go across that stage, you know, to graduate, it's like you're carrying me and others, you know, others you fought for, you stood up for. But guess what? Now we're trying to be here for you. We're trying to carry you. You know, you carried us all this time. Let us carry you and let us do something for you to help you with this situation. Well, now, yes, Spencer is in front of the board, in front of the principals and everything. And they're like, listen, if you don't give up a name, it's a shame that, you know, we're going to have to expel you. And they're like, man, you're one of the good guys. And Spencer goes in and says, listen, I'm one of the good guys. Why does it have to be good guys and bad guys? You know, like we're all good. You know, we all just need like a chance to do the right thing. But you guys are supposed to be our heroes and you're casting people out and everything. And he's going in deep. You know, Spencer's on his soapbox, but, you know, he's telling the truth to the board. Right. And they're listening. They're definitely listening. You know, the principal from Beverly, he's there. But they're about to make a judgment call. And Spencer's like, yo, y'all supposed to be our heroes and supposed to be champion for all of us, right? So then the door opens and it's Jabari. And they're like, listen, this is a closed session. He's like, no, I did it. I'm the one that took it. And then here comes Patience. And she's like, nah, I think I'm the one that took it, right? And then the rest of the gang comes in, right? Coop, Chris, right? Everybody comes in, right? Jordan, JJ, the whole team, and some other people come in saying that they're the ones that took the trophy, right? So, of course, Principal Clark is like, what's going on? And the principal from Beverly is just like, JJ, you took your own trophy? And JJ's like, you don't know me, sir. Right? So yeah, they're all standing up, all admitting that they're the ones that took the trophy. It was their fault and everything else like that. Spencer's looking at Liv like, what is going on here? And Liv is like, hey, looks like all your friends are coming to save you. We're coming to carry you now. We're coming to be your heroes, all of us all together. And definitely it's a great moment. I figured that this was going to happen. I said that in my last video that, yeah, the rest of the guys and looks like the rest of the friends have come to admit that they are the ones that took it. So, yeah, of course, the board, what are they going to do? They're not going to suspend all of them. But, yes, it looks like Principal Clark definitely was moved, right? So Principal Clark comes home, comes to Spencer's house, right? And he sees Grace. She's like, all right, just rip the Band-Aid off. Tell us what happened. Tell us what they decided. Is anybody going to be expelled? And he says nobody's going to be expelled. They decided nobody's going to be expelled because of this. And that means that Spencer's not going to be expelled. So, of course, Liv and Grace, they're giving him a hug. Like, yeah, that's great. Okay. But there is a kick to it, right? There's a detachment to it. He says, yeah, unfortunately, Spencer still is not going to be able to walk in graduation. So he is going to be able to graduate, but he won't be able to walk in the graduation, right? And he said, okay, so did it work? You know, did everybody coming in work? And he said, nah, it didn't work for the board, but it did move me, right? It did move Principal Clark. And Principal Clark pretty much offered himself up to say that, you know, it was his idea to push the whole senior gift thing and the prank. So now he is no longer the principal at Crenshaw. I mean, that's a real noble move right there for him to give up his job for Spencer in order for Spencer to actually still graduate, and not be expelled and not be held accountable for it. So he is deciding to go into politics and everything. And Spencer rolls up to him. He's like, don't try to convince me to do otherwise. He's like, nah, I just wanted to thank you, man. I'm getting used to people actually putting their neck out on the limb for me. So definitely a good moment here. And Clark is about to go into politics. We shoot here to the spot, right? The cafe. And Layla's just like, okay, Clay, I got a speech to write. You know, I'm the valedictorian. And he's like, okay, this is not going to take long at all. So we see this young lady here. She's an artist or producer, whatever the case is. And yeah, clearly Layla knows who she is. And she's like, oh my God, it's you. And she's like, Layla, I've been wanting to meet you. I heard so much about you, heard your music. And she's really bigging up Layla. Like, yeah, you're a good producer. Like, you're really a great producer. So, of course, Layla's just like, man, this is incredible. Thanks, Clay. So Clay leaves and they sit down. And she's like, yeah, I understand that, you know, somebody really is telling you that you're not musically inclined or that you don't really know music. And she's like, yeah, something like that. And the girl's just like, hey, listen, you're a great producer from what I hear, and people want to work with you. Artists want to work with you. So it really doesn't matter what that person is saying to you. You're still going to do your thing regardless. So she's like, listen, I don't want to be rude, but I got to go write my speech, and you help me with my speech. And she's like, yeah, go ahead and do your thing. Don't worry about it. You're a great producer, and we're going to collaborate one day. So she wants to collab with Layla. Now we see Amina, and she's at the playground just sitting there again, just really thinking about everything. And Coop rolls over to her, and she is talking to her about, you know, everything. And she's like, listen, I just want to know the truth. And Coop is like, I'm going to tell you the truth. And basically she's like, all right, so who killed my mom? And Coop hesitates, and she thinks about it. And even though she didn't do it, she then says, yes, I'm the one that shot your mom. And yeah, you know, I just want to tell you the truth about it. Don't be mad at Preach, be mad at me. So Amina gets up and she's like, I don't want to ever see you again. And of course she's upset. She's mad and everything because, you know, they said that, you know, Preach said that she didn't do it, but Coop comes out and says she did. So she runs away. And now Amina's most likely mad at Coop. And Coop was being noble again. This episode should be called Nobility, like being noble, because everybody's just being noble at this point. So Simone's aunt rolls over to Liv and says, hey, what's going on? And Liv is like, listen, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to pursue journalism. I can't be swayed. And Simone's aunt is like, well, you know, if that's the case, then you definitely will make a great journalist. And Liv was like, oh, you were testing me. She's like, yeah, and you passed. You passed the test. You're going to be a great journalist. It's going to be all good. You pursue that and make it happen. So she was testing Liv, and it's all good. Liv definitely passed the test. So now it's time for graduation. You see Beverly High School. They're getting prepared. So Liv is talking to Layla, and she's like, yeah, you're going to be fine. You're going to do great with that speech. Let's make it happen. You know, they are ready to graduate. And yeah, these guys have been through a whole lot to get to this point. You know, I'm definitely proud of them. I feel like, you know, these guys have gone through a whole lot. We watched them grow up basically to this point, go through so much, you know, ups and downs, trials, tribulations, but they definitely deserve this big graduation for themselves. And, you know, Spencer does too, but unfortunately he can't walk, right? But we see everybody who definitely have been going through a lot of different things, from Beverly to Crenshaw, and they're definitely happy. You know, it makes me feel like I'm graduating too. So we see Grace and Spencer has a blindfold on, a green bandana, and she takes him to like a beach area. He's like, well, you know, if you're trying to take me to the beach, I can hear the ocean breeze. And she's like, yeah, well, I got a surprise for you. And what's that surprise? Yeah, we see. Spencer is all smiles. Why? Because, yes, the family came together. Friends and family came together to give Spencer his own little private graduation. Man, I wish I had friends like this because these guys are just awesome, man. And Spencer's like, what is this all about? He's like, yeah, it's time for you to walk. So Grace, she pulls out, his father's graduation outfit. And yes, he now does get a chance to wear his outfit and have his own little special graduation walk on the beach. And yes, she's definitely proud of him. And yeah, Clark is there as well. And we see your girl Coop got her graduation outfit on as well. And she's out there dancing and everybody's walking and celebrating. And it's a celebration of just the accomplishments of all the hard work and trials and tribulations they've all gone through. And yes, Coop is definitely dancing, happy. Everybody's all good. So they stay on the beach and Liv tells Spencer, yeah, I'm going to the same school as you. And he's like, yeah, I'm happy. And she's like, well, I didn't do it for you. I did it for me. He's like, oh, okay. Yeah, right. So, they're all talking. They're on the beach, got a little bonfire going. And, basically saying like, man, we survived going to high school. Like, we actually graduated. And they're like, yeah, they're going to separate us. And Cooper's like, nah, they can't take us apart. They can never take us apart. So they all lock arms and everything. And it's definitely a great moment, tender moment for the guys as they're about to go off into a new beginning, right? They're going to college and everything. This is the next step. And yeah, we see Spencer and Liv. And yeah, Spencer's looking at that fourth wall. And he says, to new beginnings. So that is the end of episode 8, the recap, season 4 returns. And yeah, to me, definitely a great episode. Seriously. I mean, I heard them mention God twice in this, and definitely it was a real intense, but yet great episode. So I kind of knew that this was going to happen as far as how the family and friends would come together for Spencer, and it definitely worked out. So I'm glad it worked out the way it did. Definitely go ahead and drop your comments, your thoughts on everything. And again, if you're brand new and loving All American, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Absolutely like, comment, and share, and hit the notification bell so you definitely don't miss any new recaps and reviews that I do. All right, I appreciate you all for watching. Thank you for your love and your support always. And you know what it is. It's your man, VACAY-J. And until next time, salute.